Hi, and welcome to the Language Lie.
A podcast about idioms.
I'm Ingrid.
I'm Casey.
How's it going, Casey?
Well, we're having some technical difficulties, but we're moving beyond them because
Because we are champions, and you know what? We can get through anything.
we can do lots of
This is
things
having a
except
great
get audio
day
to work,
on a podcast, which is somewhat important.
which we've been doing for 2 years.
Yeah. um, I have some follow-up, which I haven't had in a
Oh,
while.
wow. Yeah, first time.
I'm really excited. So I sent our Flesh It Out episode to my friend Taryn, and they had lots of thoughts. They said that they agree with you that Flesh It Out is utterly disgusting.
Gross. Yes, it's gross.
They also think that idioms are just kind of exclusionary, which because they exclude non-native speakers,
Yeah,
which
they're very confusing.
is extremely true. And
They
that's
could
why
listen
we're
to our podcast.
they
Yeah.
could listen to our podcast. If you have any non-native speakers, they then referenced just kind of like said these, that idioms are exclusionary. And they said, for instance, Flower Day alcohol place. I was like, well, they were like, I didn't know what that meant. Apparently it's
Flower
the,
Day alcohol place.
mhm. Apparently it's the
Okay.
equivalent of F boy. So, and I can't remember in what language, but I will find
Oh,
out for you in case you ever need to say
okay.
it. They
Interesting. I
also,
mean, I feel excluded upon with that
I do
one.
too. I also feel kind of happy though. Flower Day alcohol place just sounds fun.
Hmm.
So they also said they first heard Flush It Out and thought it was Flush It Out, and both
Hmm.
they hated. And now that they work in the corporate world and it still rages
Oh,
on
it's
in their
it's
dumb corporate life.
yes. It is often that I hear this, unfortunately.
Which is perhaps why I don't know anything about it, because I don't participate in corporate life.
Well, it's gross.
Cool. So you have an idiom for us today.
That said, yes, I have an idiom that is not that gross. It is bury the hatchet.
Oh, I like this. Oh, okay. This is a good one.
What does it mean? Tell me.
You're just asking a lot of me, Casey.
Tell me.
I think it means to forgive someone or to put put the past in the past or let it go, as it were.
Sure, yeah. Cambridge Dictionary says um, defines this as to agree to end a disagreement that has divided two people or groups or more, I would assume. Grammarist says to make peace. They went on to say, when you and your longtime enemy are burying the hatchet, you forgive each other and reconcile. All arguments are forgotten, and both of you start over, which I feel like is very sweet
It is
and a
very
nice way to put that.
sweet. It's almost
Yeah,
as sweet as a Flower Day alcohol place.
sure. Um, Grammarist also gave a couple examples. The nation's leaders knew that in order to bring peace, they had to bury the hatchet and put aside their past conflicts. Additionally, there's an example for any Taylor Swift fans out there, if you've
Mm.
heard of her.
Even I.
Okay. Swift had even formed a fragile friendship with Kanye West and his new wife, seemingly eager to bury the hatchet after the 2009 VMA episode, in which West interrupted Swift's acceptance speech to inform the award show's 9 million viewers that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all times. And to be fair, Grammarist is quoting this from Rolling Stone, so
Okay. Well, look at Grammarist
citation
being
trick.
all hip.
Hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that moment. Is a
Yeah.
moment that lives in infamy.
Sure.
Who knew at that moment what was going to happen with
One of
Kanye
the most
West?
important moments, I would say, one of the most important speeches ever given.
Yes, yes, definitely in modern
Not,
American history.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yes. Do you know the origin to this idiom?
Nope. Lizzie Borden is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Lizzie Borden took an
She,
axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When
for our
her
young
dad came in
listeners,
the
oh
room,
my goodness.
gave him 42. No, I don't remember.
I don't remember it either, but I do think she's cornered the market on axes and hatchets of all kinds.
Sure, yeah. Um, okay, yes, it is not Lizzie Borden. Do you
Okay.
have
Yeah,
any
she wasn't
other?
very forgiving. It doesn't sound like.
She did
Maybe
not.
she had a, She might have had like a really rich inner life and was just a complex human, it sounds like. Cool.
Okay. No, it is not that. Would you like to hear the real
I'm
truth? The
dying
real
to.
truth.
I'm dying to. That was a
We are a
Lizzie
podcast
Borden
about
pun.
truth. Oh, wow.
Thanks.
Wow. Okay.
Let that just sink in for a minute. Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Okay. So the origin of this idiom from Wikipedia, Wikipedia says that the phrase is an allusion to the figurative or literal practice of putting away weapons after hostilities, specifically between Native American and between the Native American communities and Eastern United States.
Okay.
So um, it, yeah. So they attribute this to the Iroquois as an Iroquois custom in which weapons were to be buried after fighting had stopped. As a symbolic gesture, more so than anything, Europeans first became aware of the ceremony in 1644.
Wow, so this is an oldie.
Yeah. So in 1680 was the first time that we had seen it in print, in which Major Pynchon, in a letter from Samuel Sewall in 1680. I'm going to start that over. First seen in print in 1680 with a dude named Samuel Sewall, who, as you probably all know, was a judge and businessman in Province.
I follow his Instagram.
Oh, cool. He's best known for his involvement in the Salem witch trials,
Oh,
for which he later apologized.
oh,
Yeah,
well,
so
look at
maybe you should
him.
unfollow him.
Yeah, I probably should, but at least he apologized.
Okay. He is also known for his essay, The Selling of Joseph, which was published in 1700, in which he criticized slavery, which, if you've
So we're
ever read Stamped
refollowing
from the
him.
Beginning,
We're following him again.
yes, we can follow him again.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. He condemned a lot of young girls to death, and
Yeah,
women.
it's tough balance.
But the fact that he was critical of slavery in 1700,
Huh?
that's cool. Anyway, so in 1680, he wrote this letter talking about a major going away to Albany, where they met with a tribe, and they buried two axes in the ground, one for the English and one for the Native American tribe. The ceremony, he says, to them is more significant and binding than all the articles of peace, as the hatchet is the principal weapon to the Native American community there.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful
So,
idiom.
Engram mentions that it kind of obviously was around pretty early, right? 1644 is when it was first discovered by Europeans, 1680 when it was first written about in a letter, really came to exist in the modern usage in the 1800s, early 1800s, and gained substantial popularity through the mid 1800s. Used pretty much through the 1900s around that same level, and then around the 2000s it like spikes. You see it a lot in literature. Engram viewer is for anyone that doesn't know, it analyzes texts through publications. So obviously nothing spoken, but from what we see written, there was a big spike around the 2000s. So that is the origin of this idiom. One thing I will say, we sometimes do an international idiom, and we sometimes do a thing you shouldn't say.
Yes.
Grammarist tells us that we should not say this.
Oh, so we've done a whole episode on when we shouldn't say. Good. Okay. I can understand it's a cultural appropriation.
Exactly. Yes. Despite its positive definition, bury the hatchet may be considered problematic because it appropriates Native American practices.
Wow.
So
And we
Grammarisk goes
should
on to
not
say,
do that at all.
yes. I think there are better ways to honor the Native American people than steal their traditions to use in our lazy language.
And our dumb language.
Yes, dumb language, dumb.
Wow.
Grammarist says to consider some alternatives like let bygones be bygones and or kiss and make up, which, to be honest with you, I've never researched either of those. And so who knows if those are also bad.
Everything we say is bad.
Everything we say is bad is the point of this episode.
So we should stop talking.
So
this was our last episode.
Yes. So goodbye. One other thing to mention, Bury the Hatchet is the fourth studio album by Irish alternative rock band The Cranberries, released on April 19th, 1999.
Wow. I am so glad you didn't leave that out. Thank you.
I think it's the most important part. Not that last bit with the Grammarist.
Now
do you know that this was a Cranberries album?
Now I need to go listen to the Cranberries.
Yes. So that is
amazing. That is beautiful, and we can't say it anymore.
I think the idea of it is really beautiful. It's putting something that, you know, was a weapon that caused harm, whatever, and putting it in the ground, deciding that in that moment together we're moving past this. And I think that concept is really nice.
There's so much beautiful about the Native American culture, so much more beautiful than what modern American culture is. And yeah, if I start thinking too hard about
let's not spiral. We only have 15 minutes on this episode, so
I do have an international idiom for you.
Cool.
If you would like to, I'm going to go ahead and send this over to you, Casey.
Great.
Have fun.
Love these. There were a couple songs called Bury the Hatchet. Oh my God. Okay. What language is this? I've never seen half of these symbols.
Yes, that's why I'm not going to tell you what language it is, and I really want you to try to say it.
Ayo, legja, hafui, I blet ye.
I didn't know you were fluent in Icelandic, Casey.
Yes. Ayo, could you tell?
Yes. Yeah, when we went to Iceland, I'm sure I've said this on this podcast before, but I was just like, oh, you know, I speak Swedish. I'll probably be able to read some Icelandic. It's like you took any sort of Scandinavian word and added like 40 letters to it. And all of the symbols are. So I think that you're.
All the letters had like symbols above them. I would say 75% of them.
Yeah. We'll put this up on our Instagram and our caption or something, but it literally means to lay your head in water, and the English equivalent is to sleep on it.
Interesting.
But it's not super helpful to us because we will never be able to say it out loud. But you know, if you ever encounter that
you didn't give me the correct pronunciation.
Cool. Definitely not going to be doing that.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Well, thank you for your research. Thank you for trying to pronounce Icelandic in a beautiful way. I really enjoyed this idiom. If you have another idiom you'd like for us to research, or if you can speak Icelandic, please email us at thelanguagelie@gmail.com.
Or slide into our DMs on Instagram and Facebook. Also, we have a YouTube channel where we're including closed captioning, except for that Icelandic word, which YouTube will not understand what I'm saying.
YouTube does automatic captions, and but I have to go on there and make sure that they're correct. And it's really funny when we get the ones that I have done the closed captioning for, when we get to the international idiom where we're trying to say foreign words, it's just like, yeah, I can't correct for that. I don't know what to do. So thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.